Hi, you guys. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. I know you do not have to tell me you having an awesome, a fabulous, a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon, depending on where you are, live, or you may be checking out the podcast, or you may be checking us out on YouTube, wherever you are. I'm just glad you're here. Here at Good Deeds, I have the awesome opportunity, and I have been entrusted to be the host of Good Deeds Radio. I got to say Good Deeds Radio now because we actually have Good Deeds Media Network. Woo! I'm so excited. We have other people that have their show on our brand, so I got to make sure I stay, correct, right? I am Dr. Renee Sunday, and I am known as what? The Platform Builder. I know y'all know what I do, but let me just refresh for people that's new, that might be listening or viewing us. I was created to actually help other people first identify their purpose if they don't know what their purpose is, number one. And number two, if they do know it and we find that out what their purpose is, we make sure that you be seen and guess what? Be heard, and guess what? You got to get paid. Amen? It all works together at the plan, right? But I have been really, truly blessed, and I'm going to just say what it is to actually be in that capacity. Here at Good Deeds, what I go with the radio and the TV and the magazine and all the other stuff that we have been entrusted to do is to help you, and I mean you, shine your light to the world. And people say, what is that light you always be talking about? Is that your name, Sunday? That's what you talking about? No, I'm talking about the light is your dreams, your goals, your passion, your destiny. The reason that you were created, the reason you up all night thinking about something and you kind of nervous about doing it, I'm not going to say fear because we don't have the spirit of fear. You're just nervous about it. You just hadn't met the right person to push you on to the next level, right? But we actually help you shine your light to the world. And guess what you do with that? By showing your light, you share your message to the world. That's what we do. But we're going to go real quick because we got a powerhouse in the house. Hey, the Ask Dr. Renee question. People to ask me personal things. That's fine because I'm going to keep it 100, right? The question was, Dr. Sunday, you always seem very energetic. You always feel like you're on top of the world. But what happens when you go through trials and tribulations? Yeah. First of all, and I actually paraphrase this because they say the first question they ask, do I go through it? I say, yeah, I go through trials and tribulations. All of us, guess what? I did a sermon actually called We All Have Issues. We always got something going on. But I actually had to call this person, and we had to have a dialogue because I wanted to let them know, yes, I do go through trials and tribulations. You know the word. I'm going to bring that in. The higher calling. I'm going to paraphrase it. The Message Bible says, higher calling or higher, meaning not in statue, but if you call to the fivefold ministry, you got to actually, it costs something, right? But anyway, all of us that are believers, it costs something. But anyway, what I do is, the first thing I do is I always have learned. Now, let me put that in there. And it's been a process. And through bumping my head, crying and falling on the floor and all that, I have learned in this process that we call life that I know if it came to me, guess what? God knows I can handle it because he has given me provision for everything that has happened. And a lot of times things happen because I had the wrong perspective of a thing. You know what we think when the door closed, God got several doors opening. You see what I'm saying? So we actually have to make step back and get the right perspective, number one. Number two, on with that same thing, really in the same, thought is I'm saying, Lord, help me with this because, I know I can't do it by myself. Amen? And then after as the old people say, prostrate. When you pray about it, you read the word, you fast about it. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to do all of that before we go to the wise counsel. Yeah, the Bible said wise counsel. But we got to actually make sure we seek ye first. And y'all don't want me to go there. I can preach, but, I'm on radio now. But the thing is, yes, I do go through trials and tribulations. I do go through things. But you know what? I go before my Father. And he actually gives me peace. You see what I'm saying? He gives me joy and that perseverance. And then he does always send someone that I can talk to. Amen? And you got to have someone you can trust to that can be that listening ear. That's what I want to do, let you know. All of us need a listening ear, but just be mindful of who you actually share all your information with. That's a mic drop right there, okay? But anyway, let's get to this amazing, powerful, because she got a lot to share. She is an inspiration. She's a motivator. I mean, she the real deal, okay? She's an international you see what I'm saying? Multi-award-winning best-selling author. She's a motivational speaker. She's a poet. I mean, this ain't what she's saying in the bio, but she's a role model. You know what I'm saying? She's a role model. I have awesomely have had, I made up a new word, amen, but I actually have had the opportunity of being around her. And she brings joy to everyone that's around her. She lifts up everyone. She's not saying that you got to down yourself around her. She allow you and give you an opportunity to let your light shine, like I said earlier. And that's just a powerful person that you can actually have somebody around you that actually shines their light. Guess what? And they actually are very welcome and very proud that you shine your light as well. We want to welcome to Good Deeds, none other than the amazing, powerful, phenomenal. I'm going to just go and tell her what she is. She's a world changer, LaDonna Marie to Good Deeds. Are you there?
Ooh, yes, I am here. I'm pumped up. I'm like, that's me. Thank you so much. It is an honor. I love listening to you. You just talking. You just got me so inspired and so amped and always encouraged. But, thank you so much for having me on your show and for this amazing opportunity.
I love you, LaDonna. But, tell a lot of people, the people that's listening, we see you all over social media. We see you doing your purpose. We love it. But tell us a little bit more about yourself, because I only tipped the iceberg in what I said a minute ago. But tell us more about yourself and the amazing things that's going on in your life.
Okay, so about me, it all started when I was actually a teenager. Then I got this love for who I am today. God showed it to me when I was about 12 years old when I started writing, because he gave me the gift of writing. He said as he heals me, he was going to help me to heal others with my words and with hugs and with love and everything that I exemplified today. And so as a young teen, I was going through issues and I felt misunderstood, and I felt like I didn't want to be a part of this world. So I felt I turned inward for a lot of things, because as a young teen, I already knew. I saw, writing, and I saw speaking and encouraging people and edifying people before I even knew, what edifying was, and before I even writing was my therapy, before I ever knew what occupation that I wanted to go in or degrees that I wanted to get. And I knew all this as a child, and that was a lot to have when you don't have people that were out there that were, saying, go on, do this, that sounds great. So it was just really me and God. And so he began to be my mentor, and he told me so many times, he was like, where others put you down or where others don't believe in you, I validate you, fulfill your purpose, the reason why I put you here. And so that is the voice that I've heard from the age of 12 until now, until this time. And so every action that I do, every book that I write, every conference that I have, every engagement, speaking engagements to adults or teens that I go out into the community and I have that edifying and encouraging and empowering others to be motivated to fulfill their purpose, to be motivated to know that someone's there and someone cares, or someone wants to encourage them or help them clarify things that they want to do. And so all of my life, that is what I've been doing. I've been a poet since the age of 14. I've been writing. I published my first poem in an anthology in 2007. Was Whispers with the League of American Poets. And then in 2009, I was going to publish again, but when I went to do it, they loved my work so much. And then I said, well, maybe I should just do something of my own. And so then in 2010, after a little research and learning more about what I wanted to do, getting clear with myself and also the dreams that God had put in me, I decided to release my first poetry book, which was called Expressions of the Mind, Body, and Soul. And it goes a lot with like what you were talking about today, about the trials and tribulations and the different things that we go on, because our mind, body, and soul is all connected with our experiences, with our life, with our relationships, family, and also relationships with others. And so all of that makes who you are. And so at that time, I released that book, and I felt so amazing because it was my first book. And then I went on to do other books, and then God had me to do devotionals. I thought I was only a poet. He had me to do devotionals. He had me to do, I have released a children's book last year. So I have 8 books to date. I have 5 poetry books. I have a devotional. I have the kids book, and I just released a Rebuilding Fragment workbook because I'm all about resiliency skills, and I want to help people, transform their lives and do a lot of what God did for me. I want to do for them. And so in everything that I do, those are the things that are most important to me, helping to empower and encourage other people. So that's who LaDonna is.
I love it. I love it. I want to ask a question because I kind of get this a lot myself. You know how they used to say when you first start writing, and you're a great example of that they tell you, and they do it in business as well, they tell you to stay in one genre. Speak on that a little bit, because I know we are multifaceted people. I mean, we can, one thing that's so amazing that God put in us, that we can really, truly train our mind to do a lot of things at the same time.
Right.
I mean, just think about our pets. I mean, I'm amazed at dogs, but tell us about that, because we hear that, and that dampens our spirit, and I can be a living witness as well to that, because when I first did my transition out of medicine, my coaches would tell me to stay in one thing, and I was like, I don't want to stay in one thing. But tell us about that in regards of the different genres that you have been truly, amazingly been able to handle it, and handle it with grace.
You know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate it, because, I spoke a little bit before. In 2000 and I want to say my 3rd book. These years, I've been doing this for so long, but the years just take me away. But I was writing my lesson, Shattered Pieces Being Restored, and I actually saw it as a play. And in my mind, I said to God at that moment, I said, no, God, I'm going to just write the book, because the poetry book, because this is what this is what I know best to do, so I'm going to do that. And I said, I spoke to him. I was like, I'm just your poetry writer. And then within the next, I did go ahead and release that poetry book. But in the next year, God came to me and he said, you're going to do a devotional, and I'm going to download everything. And so immediately I just did the devotional. I took in the message, I downloaded it, and I did it. And after I completed it, and after, everybody got it and it was out there and they loved it, I went back and I apologized, because I said, you know what, I said to you that I'm just a poet, but I am the vessel in whatever you choose for me to do. So whether it's now children's books, because that is an amazing outlet for me, children's books, the devotional, and also this workbook. The workbook came out of the blue as well, but because I'm such a big encourager, and I've heard that many times, people say you have to focus on one thing, but the way that I've learned how to do it, I'm going to give you all this inside tip in what I do, because I normally write more than one book at one time, and you see most of the stuff that I'm coming out with, I wrote it probably like 2 or 3 years ago. But what I do is I have folders for each thing. If I want to write about encouragement or love, I put it in one folder. If I want to write about, overcoming difficulties or obstacles or situations, I put them in another folder. If I want to write about the children aspect or things or workbooks or outlines, I categorize everything that I want to do so that nothing gets misplaced or nothing gets left behind, because those thoughts, sometimes we think we'll have thoughts forever, and things are happening we'll probably forget. And so I just learned to be true to yourself, be true to your heart. You can research and learn anything that you want to learn about if you're going into the different genres, but as I'm led by inspiration. So when things come to me, just like the children's book, when it came to me, it actually came to me in 2014 in October. And so I put it out. I wrote the book. I wrote it down. I still had it. But God, I didn't release it until I worked on it a little bit, but I didn't release it until 2017 in February. So the thing about it is no matter when you write it, you will always have it, no matter what you start on. And so just stay true to yourself. If you feel like you want to do something, like you said, just try it, just do it. If you have an inspiration to write in different genres. Like I said, I even did a whole love poetry romance book. And at the time, I was telling God, I was like, well, God, I'm divorced, and I'm not in a relationship. And I was like, you want me? I'm a perfect example. Do you want me to write it? But He gave me the beautiful words, because I patterned it after the Songs of Solomon, and that being able to talk to someone with love and with the intimacy of words and kindness and showing that you care. And so He had me to write that, because words are beautiful and love is beautiful. And just being able to vocalize that and say it doesn't have to be anything physical, but it's just with your words. And so He allowed me to write that book at that time. And I just learned to trust. That's the main thing that I do. I learned to trust myself, to try different things, because you never know, what will happen or what you'll be great at. I can give you one more example. Even with, like, I started with Less Than Shadow Pieces Being Restored. In that book, I talked a little bit about, I shared, God told me it's the same thing. I was always smiling. I was always excited. I was always happy. Donna, you need to let people know why now it's time for you to come out a little bit more of, who you are, because you've been doing all the behind-the-scenes work. You've been doing the inner work. You've gotten to a place where you're confident about certain things that you used to be, terrified to speak on. And so in that book, I shared, I attempted suicide when I was younger. And so in that book, God asked me to share it. So I shared a piece of it in one of the girls' stories, in their stories. And when I put that book out, it took me a year to write it. I was nervous. I just didn't want to do it. It was a tug of war. Everything was going wrong. I lost the book a couple of times. The jump drives, crashed and everything. And I just spoke out into the atmosphere, and I said, this book will be done. In the name of Jesus, I said, this book will be done. And, no matter if I don't really want to do it, I'm still going to go forth, because this is what God needs to be put in the atmosphere at this time. And so I went on with the book. And I went on with that book. In that book, I won the Reader's Favorite Bronze Medal in award for that one, and I also won 3 other awards. But it wasn't about the awards for me; it was about my obedience, and God rewarded my obedience, because if I had been in my flesh, and if I had said no, I don't want to share this at this time, I'm still not comfortable. God, I don't want to put that out there. But that book and that sharing that was for some young girl who will pick it up, or some young man who will pick it up, and they resonate with those feelings of feeling like they don't want to be here, or feeling like they're misunderstood, or whatever the other things, like the growing pains and the misconceptions of love and enough is enough. They resonate with that book, and at the end, they know that they can be restored. They know that somebody's been where they've been and they've overcame. And so that was the whole message behind the book. And so trust yourself, try different things with the genres that you want to go in, but just know that you're put here on this earth for a purpose, and that even though we're going through these experiences, those experiences are for the person and the reader that's going to pick up that book, or someone that's going to share it with someone else who needs your experience, who needs to hear your words on how you got through so that they can get through.
Well, LaDonna, I have to go off record a little bit and say this, because I don't want to forget it. I didn't realize this, and I stood correct, that a young man shared a terrifying, I'm going to just say it that, statistics that for Afro-American males in regards of suicide, within the last 10 years, the statistics now is almost 1 in every 10 young people. That little range there that I think they even went all the way down, I think he said, to 12 up to 17. And
right.
I said, Lord have mercy, I didn't know it was, that's a lot. That's a significant. Yes. And so, we need to truly get your books, the book like you have with the suicide, because that's a subject, I'll be honest with you, that I've talked to so many teachers, they don't even know where to start to talk about that. Right. Wow. We need to get. Hey, I put a new project assignment on you.
Thank you.
I didn't realize that how significant. That was just, I didn't know startling. That number was that. Yeah, isn't it startling?
It is.
I didn't know that it was that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to say because I had also, looked at the statistics for girls, and I don't have my tablet with me, but I looked at it at 1 year, and I saw that between the ages of 12 and 18, that they need someone to be talking to them about these things so that we could help them find a way through. And I know that, and that's the reason why with most of my stuff, I try to always give tools, or give, help or ways that things can be better, or how that you can emotionally heal, some type of release, because it can help with just, like you said, starting that conversation. Because I know I had a man who bought the book for his daughter, and he just bought it for her, and God sent him my way. And the next day, the young lady found me on Facebook. She inbox messaged me, and she just told me, she said, it had to be God that sent my dad to you. She said, because everything in this book, she said, I feel like it was me talking. She said, I felt like it was me writing this. It was me. And I said, I'm just glad that, because at the end, there's a turnaround. It shows them that no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, you can be restored. But it helped them to let them know that you're not alone, because that's what gets the teens and the people in general. People think that they're by themselves. They think that nobody else knows how they feel, and they feel isolated with their fear, and then that's what causes these decisions that they make. And I'm just happy that, every person that I meet, I never want a person to leave me feeling like even how they felt when they came. So if I can empower, if I can impart, if I can show love, if I can encourage, then that's one of the things that I always try to make sure that I do.
I love it. I see a new project on the horizon. Amen.
That's right.
I just found this out. Let me see. Last Friday, I found out these statistics, and one of the school teachers I had to go to, and I asked her. She said, "Yes, that's correct, Dr. Sunday, and we just don't even know how to address it in the school." And I'm like, oh, my God. So, when you pray for things, they come right to you, Miss LaDonna.
They do. They come. Thank you so
love
much.
it.
I'm glad.
Well, LaDonna, let me ask you this, though. With that being said, I mean, you are an amazing overcomer, and we can feel, I mean, this is, and I know the listening audience also, live or archive, feel that passion that you have inside. And we try to be, quote, unquote, perfect, which nobody is, but, especially here in the South. I could just attest to the South. What they say, happen in the house, stay in the house, and then sometimes we were geared to do those quote-unquote jobs, work in the hospital, work an 8 to 5, get a trade. But you have really showed us how you can passion inside and actually make it into amazing, entrepreneurship. Talk to us about that, because the amazing books you have, yes, we want people to actually buy our books, but we also want to have that best-selling status. We want to actually evolve into a speaker, and we want to actually continue to move this forward instead of, I've heard the horror story of people say they buy 200 books and they're in the garage. Talk to us a little bit about that, because I think people have said, okay, get a book, but they don't tell us about that experience of what we need to do to actually plummet that platform to entrepreneurship.
Right. So that's amazing question. And let me tell you, it changed for me because I did the first book, and I was so excited because, it's like, yay, it's my first book, baby, and I'm so excited to just get the words out on paper and be able to look at it. And so I did take 2 years. I took almost 3 years off because my next book didn't come out until October of 2013, between 2010 and 2013. And so I took time off, and I just learn the business, learn what you have to do, learn about marketing, learn about promoting, learn about, advertising. And then I also learned about my why. I learned more about me. I learned more about why I want to promote positive growth and awareness. Why do I want to, and, this is my gift that I'm, pushing out in these books, but also I have to be able to promote myself and also tell about myself so that people can be able to know who is LaDonna Marie in writing these books. And like you said, you can feel the passion behind it. But the thing that I would tell everybody is you do have to be in touch with your why, because I tell people I do so much sometimes, Dr. Renee, then I'd be like, I really do need to stop and chill. I've already started filling up my calendar, and I'm just going, because I told people it's like in my mind now that I have to be visible. I have to make sure that I'm in places. I have to make sure that I'm in front of an audience, because my mind thinks that I want to be global. I don't think local. I think global. I think international, just like it says I'm an international award-winning author. So I'm thinking out of the box. So what will get me closer to the people here or there, or how many book signings or things that I need to do, or strategically setting up in a way so I am places that I can grow, that I can network, that I can meet other people. So when you have your book, you have to know that you are the voice of your book. You're the best marketer for your book because you wrote it. You have to, why you wrote it, explain to them what's exciting about your book, or what is the purpose that they should buy your book. And so when you get those books, you have to learn how, to do the social medias, to market your book. If you're not at the status where you have somebody to do it for you, then you have to do it yourself. You have to wear all of the hats, but you wear them interchangeably. You have to be that promoter that puts it out there so that people know that it's coming soon, or put it out there to say, hey, it's here, check it out, or this is what it's about, or give them a little, some insider to it, or some excerpts. So there's a lot of things that as an entrepreneur and as an author that you have to do first. That's your self-marketing. You have to do it. When you take on the self-publishing role, then you have to do the legwork until you can, hire people to help you with that. And it's the same thing about advertising. Advertising your book, putting your book in places. Your book is already on Amazon, but so many other books are on Amazon too. And so you have to begin to promote your book in ways, and go to different places, and do interviews, and also do, like I said, book signings and festivals, so that you can be out there. It just takes you knowing, like I said, knowing your why, strategically setting up a plan for, the things that you want to do, the audience that you want to introduce your book to, like who are you speaking to? If you're just speaking to, kids or teens or adults or women or men, Christians, like see who are you speaking to, your audience, and then you find a way to, put yourself in front of your audience, and then let your light shine. Tell why, your books are amazing because you wrote them and you want them to be in the homes of others. But as an author, I just feel that we have to, and sometimes I do things, in the beginning I used to do things with my tail between my legs, because I was like, God, I feel like I'm an introvert, but people will say, no, I'm not. I feel like I am, but you have to show up. And I learned that between those 3 years of me taking time off to just learn about different things, I learned that I have to be the one to show up. Because if I don't believe in my book, how can I give somebody else? How can I expect somebody else to believe in it? And so that's what gives me the motivation to show up when I go places, to show up. And then even things that you want to do. And if it's something that's out there that you want to do and it's not in your hometown or it's not done, then you find a way to bring it, to your city, your community. You bring it there. That's just like when God gave me Planting Positive Seed. When he gave it to me in 2013, he told me about it. I came back that November. I did my first conference. I didn't know anything about conferences. I didn't know anything, but because God said that this is another level, this is something else that I want you to do, to bring people in, not just to buy books, but we're helping them to, because one of the things that I talk about is being emotionally healthy, to find those resiliency skills. So you're helping them to get the things that they need. You're helping them to fill up their toolbox with the tools that you have that you can give. And so that's another way that you can show up, just find out what things and abilities, the giftings and abilities that you have, and then bring them to life. And you don't have to do them all at once, but you strategize month by month what you want to do, target, pace yourself, and then just introduce yourself to the world and show up when it's time for you to show up with your books, with your talks, going out to talk to young kids or whoever your audience is. you know, you just have to continue to show up. Because my speaking engagement, I was sitting in my office one day, probably like in 2014, and I said, what's next, God? I've written 3 books. What do you want me to do next? And he said, you know, we're going to do speaking. And then probably the next 2 weeks, somebody inboxed me and said, I have a girls group. Would you like to come? And this is when I was living in Georgia. They asked me would I like to come and speak. And I said, yes, you know, I'll come. I wrote down my notes. I jotted down what I wanted to say. And I went. And then that was me and my faith moving forward with what I wanted to see happen in my life. And so I just decided to show up.
Amen. That's a drop the mic right there, ladies and gentlemen. that is powerful. I mean, yeah. I had to do something, in that vein myself, because I said, wait a minute, I can't be doing none of this stuff that I don't believe in it. And God was so strategic with me, LaDonna, that my first sermon, the verse that we used was Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord and lean not to your own understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, he will direct our path. And that little thing I say on Facebook, it's not a jingle, I'm telling you. I live this, that you got to believe, you got to trust, and guess what? You got to walk it out.
That's right. That's right. You have to walk it out.
Ooh, I could talk to you all night, but to do this for us, if you want to share any other nuggets that we may have missed, and please tell us how we can connect with you on social media, how we can get your other products and services, and also, you know, how we can get these amazing publications that you have now and to come.
Okay. So you can get in contact with me. My website is www.LaDonnaMarie.org. That's me all day. You can go there. You can contact me. My books are available. You can contact me if you need to talk or see any of my other services that I have there, even for speaking engagements or help or assistance with your books or anything. You can go there. My books are on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Smashwords. You know, you can type in LaDonna Marie and you can find me on those platforms as well. And you'll see my beautiful face, and the books are there. But my main goal is to help people to overcome their obstacles gracefully. Because the thing about it, in this life that we live, we will always go through something. We will always go through something. But we have to just trust and believe, like you said before, that you can grow through it, that you can go through it, that you can continue to move forward and to and that you will overcome. And so, you know, don't be don't be afraid, or don't step away from the challenge, but step up and just know that, like you said, if he brought it to you, you can make it through it. And I just want to help you. Like I said, with my books, I always like to help to build, you know, your resiliency skills. And I love what you said about being a role model. And I'm so glad that you see that in me, because that's what I want to put out to the world. I want to show people the different way that I found. There was some times, like you said, even when you said when they asked you about your trials and tribulations, I had to cry my way through to, you know, I was sad sometimes. You know, there were different times when I felt different ways, but when I learned better, I started to do better. When I learned how to encourage myself when nobody else was encouraging me, then I could pat myself on the back and I could keep moving forward. When I learned how to speak life into the dreams that I have and the things that God entrusted me to, and I learned how to believe in myself with the gifts and talents that I have, and I had to dig deep to find the tools that I already had inside, and I just let them out into the world. And so for whoever's listening, I just want you to continue to believe in yourself. And my new hashtag is discover the champion in you.
Hallelujah. Girl, you ain't dropped the mic 5-6 times this evening. Ooh, glory. I'm just so piped up. You're going to make me go write something or do something, Lord. Ooh, you have really, I'm going to be transparent right here on, you know, internationally and globally for you to hear this. You really have inspired me, motivated me. I kind of been, like you said, and I'm so glad you talked about these folders. I have so many books in them folders, you know, I gradually, I was resistant a little bit because most of my books are Christian-based. I mean, I just released my first business entrepreneur book, Entrepreneur Mandate.
Yay, congratulations.
But it was kind of scary there a little bit, LaDonna, because all my books have been in Christian motivation. So I always thank you for motivating me and inspiring me that I can continue to move forward. But first of all, we want to just thank you for being in your purpose, and thank you so much for being a guest here on Good Deeds. If you need us for anything,
you're so welcome.
Please don't hesitate to contact us. Oh, I just love you. Thank you.
I love you too, and I just want to let everybody know, stay tuned to my blog, because I do have some activities and things that will come up to be announced this year. So if you go to my website and subscribe, which is www.LaDonnaMarie.org, I'll be dropping like the things that I'll be doing, the events, because I am going to do a Planting Positive Seeds 2018, and so I'm so excited about that. I'm gearing up for that, but it's still to be announced right now.
Yeah, I want to know. I always want to know. Amen. but thank you so much. Yeah, and we'll help you promote that. Just let us know, and we'll help you with that as well.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's an honor.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Ooh, glory, glory. Thank you. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, I can't even say enough. LaDonna Marie. Please check her out. All her information will be on our social media and also on our website. She's just a joy. I mean, serious. She can help you with your book. She can actually motivate you, inspire you, all that in one. Isn't that wonderful? But I just want to let you know a couple of things that we have going on. If you do, I spoke briefly in the beginning. If you want to host your own radio or TV show, let us know. We actually have opportunities for people to have their own radio and TV show with the Good Deeds Media Network. Also, we have, if you want to be a writer or a contributor to our Good Deeds magazine, if you want to advertise or be a sponsor or any of those platforms, please let us know. We do have a publishing company, Sunday Publishing Company. We also have a nonprofit organization. And what that does is help you walk out your destiny. So the things we're talking about, and you have some financial concerns, we actually can take care of that. We're talking all the way from basic necessities, somewhere to stay, something to eat, all the way to scholarships, shadow me programs, and we also help. We help you with that, okay? Because I've been there. I grew up in poverty. If nobody knows that, so I know how to bring you on with us, okay? But I want you to remember the website is www.reneesunday.com. Again, that is RENEE Sunday SUNDAY.com. I want you to remember, you do have a calling. You do have a reason you were born. You have a reason you're here right now. You're not a mistake, okay? You got to do the three things. You got to believe, you got to trust, and guess what? You got to walk that thing out. And y'all know the rest. You got to don't stop. You got to get it. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. See you next time. Bye-bye.